All right, Steve, we're here at the Builder's FirstSource Ready Frame house. Steve, have you seen Ready Frame before?
I'm not as familiar with it. I mean, I saw a couple of your great videos and Luke's, but that's
Okay,
about
so
it.
here's the deal, Steve. Ready Frame, they came out with this system 7-8 years ago, something like that, and I saw it at the Vegas Builder Show and was absolutely blown away. You know, you and I for years, as we talk about high performance houses, people have raised the hand and say, hey Matt, what about houses that are built in a factory and shipped to the job site and assembled? And it's always seemingly in the future, but never quite makes it, right. Including a company like Katerra that went out of business recently that was funded with ridiculous piles of cash, and they still couldn't do it. But on the other hand, Ready Frame, which we're about to show you, I think, Steve, is the future that's really arrived, and now we're on 7 or 8 generations of year-over-year improvements. So let me give you a tour.
Let's check it out.
Okay, so you and I deal with floor plans like this. This is what I would get from the architect to build the house, right? Dimensions, everything's on there. Then the engineer is going to get involved, and he's going to give me a plan like this. This is the engineering 2D plan from the engineer. This shows my headers, my all of my structural framing in the house, anything that I need, including potentially a truss plan.
But what's interesting, I've actually done plans like this where we laid out all the studs, and it's just really time consuming, but those projects require the extra effort. So it's great to have a source that you can go to that provides this level of coordination without that level of effort.
So here's the deal, Steve. BFS, Builder's FirstSource, which by the way, BMC and BFS merged about a year ago, so this is also BMC, has this software from MyTech where they can actually take this plan and turn it into a 3D framing plan, so you can literally visualize the entire skeleton of the house before anything happens.
I can even take that and mark up some big red HVAC and run it through there.
That's exactly right. We can figure out where our duct runs are going to go. We can put joists in there. This can have the trusses for the roof. Whatever is structural that's wood in the house is on there.
And it's a good check and balance system, because you get this, I could be able to sit in the office and kind of flip this thing around and just do a quick check to make
100%.
sure all of my design intent is coming out real here.
That's right. Now, if that looks good to you and I, follow me, Steve, then we press print, which is both literal and figurative, and at the BMC Builder's FirstSource Ready Frame factory, here's what happens. All of the stud packs, everything that happens for this, let's say this wall right here, gets inkjetted and pre-cut such that when I'm on the job site, all I do for this wall right here is I grab the bundle that's all kind of taped together, I lay it out on the floor, and there's no saw whatsoever on the job site. The frame carpenter, all he has to do, or she has to do, is nail this thing together and sheathe it on the backside, and there's basically zero waste on this process.
And the great thing about, having this kind of information there is that it's great from the initial standpoint of I'm putting the puzzle together, that the puzzle's all laid out for me as an instruction booklet. But as the job super and building inspector, they can come by and just get in the habit of saying, okay, everything aligns, it's put together right.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Because all of these locations, for this cripple, for this sill, for this king and jack stud, everything is inkjetted, printed. Now I do have a map, a Lego builder's guide to building the house, but it really takes every dimension, makes it perfectly accurate, and allows us to build a house really quick with very little dumpster action and no saws.
It's amazing that we use the toy world as the model for our building world. Like Lego had this 30 years ago.
That's right.
You could put a book together and build the house.
But what's cool about this, Steve, is I had someone raise a hand when I was lecturing yesterday on high performance building, and they said, hey, when are we going to have the future of these houses that are pre-built on the job site? And going back to what I said earlier, this is the future. It's actually happening. They built like 30,000 houses last year with Ready Frame. 18 out of the top 20 builders in the US are utilizing Ready Frame in some way, shape, or form. They've got 36 locations around the country that will do this for you. This is pretty impressive, and they're going to continue to roll out more and more.
Yeah, and shorten that kind of coordination effort and responsibility chain to the single source of Builder's FirstSource, and having them do all the layout and puzzle making, and then just having the framer put the puzzle together is just it really takes the opportunity to have mistakes out of the picture.
100%, totally. For more info, check out Builders FirstSource, find your local rep, and ask them if it's available in your area.